Today, I'm going to be building a 9-wood in my specs. Tommy Fleetwood loves it.
Fairway woods are an important part of my game. So when you get to par 5s and things like that, the fairway woods play a big role in scoring.
This is the TaylorMade Core 9-wood at 24.
How good's a 9-wood? So carry-wise, it's not that much different to my forehand, but it's a very, very different golf club. It's easy to hit than a long iron.
I was that impressed and intrigued by the 9-wood that I popped over to KBS to get me some golf shaft. I popped into the workshop to get me a 9-wood head, and I'm going to get this whipped up precisely to my specs. You guys like 9-wood content, you like it when I build. Let's bring the two together and see where we go. So we've cherry picked the 9-wood. We're here in the Kingdom Workshop, belly of the beast, and we're going to get this thing built. But first off, with every build you need a spec. So I've actually bought my 7-wood, still don't have the QI35 in that. I have my QI35 3-wood, and I've got a rescue club, albeit a 19. Now I'm talking about the lofts. Lofts you wouldn't compare between the two, but right now I do want to look at lengths. So grip is already pulled aside. Those of you that watch this with a keen eye, I've grabbed that out because it's up high. I'm not the tallest human in the world, so we did that off camera, so you can't catch me acting like an absolute muppet and jumping 6 feet in the air. We have the grip all done. Remember, a good build is set up by being organized. So a bit of a mess in here. You know I don't like that too from previous videos. We'll let that slide. When we put this in, first things first, as you measure it, center of the club through to butt end of this. And it comes out, forget the Sky Super Tag, Sky Caddy Super Tag, 43.5 end of grip. I use the Tour Velvet, it's 1/8. So that's good to know, 43.5 on the 3-wood. I can probably put that aside for now. 7-wood, just keeping it not touching the back, is at 41.5. So I think Tommy was talking, Fleetwood, about 41 being a good number, 40 being a good number. This is at 40.5. So I think we'll make this at 41 to start. So it's going to be a little bit longer than the rescue, but shorter than the 7-wood. So 41 is going to be the length that we go. Just a ½ inch shorter than my 7-wood. That'll work out perfectly. So just to keep it there, because it's a habit, 41 inches, end of grip. So I can cut it at 1/8 shorter than that. Next thing you need to check, just gonna go right there, Q, Loft and Lie. This is the Dela Cruz Loft and Lie machine. The reason I want to check this is to get my lie angle perfect. I said to you that I'd made one before and it wasn't quite at my spec. Lie angle is massive when we do this. So this one is as far flat as 57.5 lie angle. So that's how the golf club will lie against the turf when I set up to it. So I might have to bend this a hair flatter, which could change the length a little bit. I don't want to bend it until I've got a golf shaft in it. Brings us to our next subject, which is golf shafts. Now I have these PGWs in here, hot prototype from KBS. You saw Q's fitting. If you haven't seen that, dive into the link below, check it out. I can confirm Q Mondo behind the camera is absolutely piping the driver. Fantastic news and results. He plays up at Pelican Hill. 330 was it? 330 bones off the first the other day?
327.
327. Make me a liar for 3 yards. But that's what happens when you come and get in with Trottie. Then you listen to him. There's a whole backstory there, but you get some yardage. So basically, on with the video. We've got different weights here. The good people of KBS have been able to hook me up with some different weights. This shaft is coming, by the way, and it's slightly softer in the tip. I don't like to play the 7-wood any lighter. This has always been something I've done on tour as well. 80 grams for that. So the 9-wood, I'm also going 80. I would like to probably go a little heavier, but I think this is the heaviest they make that shaft in. I also have some hybrid options if I want it. I'm gonna stockpile all these. I'm going for the 80. Already committed to that. Now, because it's got loft on the blade, that is gonna give you spin. Now you can remove spin by bending the loft. But I want to hit a certain yardage, don't I? So I want to keep, and I've got the numbers actually on the top here, 59.9, so I've got to make it 1.5 degrees flatter, 24.3 on the loft. If it spins a ton, I could tilt the loft off a little bit. But the one thing I'm going to do, and I know that we cover this and people ask me about it, I'm going to go for a 2-inch tip. I'm not gonna go, actually I'll go 2 1/4. No, I'll go 2. Reason being, truth be told, on this golf shaft, I don't know how much room I have to tip it. Quite often you'll have up to 2.5 inches to tip. That'll make it play a little bit stronger, not so strong that it's too stiff for me, but it will keep the spin off. If it doesn't keep the spin off, I'll come back in here and bend the loft off. But the more loft you bend off, the further it goes because you take the spin off. So it's a balance. That's what fitting's all about. If you're wondering about getting a fitting and why the build is so important, well, guess what? Right there in a nutshell is the reason for that. So a 2-inch tip. The other thing that I'm critical on, if you find a club builder that can be like this, then hold on to them like a sweet little angel. This has gone through the middle. So I'm actually going to pull you guys in to have a look at this. I've got the end is right on the money. I can do 48 minus 2 inches is 46. And I've put my silver Sharpie line bang on through the middle. If this was tall, you need to know if you've measured and you want to cut the bottom of the line or you want to cut the top of the line. It's got to be right. Because if it ain't right, it's freaking wrong, isn't it? So someone's left some junk around there. That's the second thing. Pull them up on that. Turn this on, it'll get loud. And then you can obviously see here, you can lift that up if you've got safety goggles on. I don't. I can see through the perspex, so I'm going to make sure that I can just get straight through the middle of the saw, straight through the middle of that. Listen up, I'm banging out some of the best content when it comes to golf clubs that you will have seen on the whole of YouTube, but I can only do it if you do me the absolute solid and hit that subscribe button. It's free, you don't have to pay a single thing, you just have to tap the button. Do it if you want to see more great stuff and you want to keep in touch with your golf game. I got to bring this to you. If you want to see the best, that's how you get it. There you go, beautiful feature. California's got you covered. Notice how I'm turning the shaft. I'm not just going straight through the fibers. I'm turning it so you get a nice cut. This ain't amateur hour. Remove all the paint. Some people get funny about that. There's my beautiful assistant, turned off the extraction. Hello, Aero.
What's happening, guys?
Are you responsible for all the mess in here?
No, I'm cleaning after you.
Oh, he definitely isn't. Okay, so go back into now the butt section of this. I said I wanted it at 41 inches end of grip because the 7 wood is at 41.5. That's why you write things down. Got a memory like an absolute sieve. Beautiful. Okay, so 41 inches EOG, end of grip, 39, 40 and 7/8. Job done. That's right on the money. I'm the finest penman in the history of cutting golf clubs. So now I need to go straight through my mark there. Bang on the extraction again. We need Aero. Where is he when we need him? Straight through the mark. Now the other thing, I use my, it's just personal, but I use my hand against this just to keep it level when I cut. Again, it's a preference, but we might have some club builders out there who want to know. Boom, watch for the circular motion. In. Job done, off, extraction off. So if you think about it, look how short that golf shaft is now. That's why I went with more mass at the start. I wanted more weight, more mass, just to make sure you check everything as you go along as well. PGW, perfect, looks nice, at the right length, like where we're at. Let's get some glue mixed and use the curing cell. We have DP420 black. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have no idea if this is the glue that we use on Wade's truck. Hopefully it is, because it's going into a curing cell. You don't need much of it. I can tell you that the shaft beads have already gone in from Golf Works, so they're gonna help me center the golf shaft. The only thing I'm doing now is just cleaning this up for the next person because I don't want to get junk on my hands. Won't need any more than that. So you take one of these mixing sticks, you have glass shaft beads, we have quick center and lead, all the same really. The reason you would use lead if you want just to get slightly heavier swing weight, but we know in this 9 wood, I have the weight port, but I can also put some of that hot melt in there. We'll get to that. just stick in the video. So quick center goes in. Now you've got, if you look at this, you've got clear and you've got black. You want to mix this pretty good. I've put all the quick center in, keep going, keep going. But the more you mix it, just the better it will be to stick. And I felt like I glossed over a little bit earlier when I was taking the paint off the tip section. Some club builders like to do it with a straight blade, where you will simply, you know, they put tape on there and then you get rid of everything. To be quite honest with you, I've never had a problem. I think I've had one club be a slight issue over the years when it comes to taking the tip grind off, so I wouldn't worry too much about, as long as you're not going into the fibers of the graphite shaft, that's where you're gonna have problems, you know what I mean? See this here, this doesn't need to be here. That doesn't need to be here. Back on with the video. So clean up that, we don't need that. Job done. But you do need this. So you take the golf shaft and you run it through that. You don't need tons. Take off my protective layer. Don't need that anymore. The vital information I've got is the face angle and the loft. Did that when I picked the head. This goes in here. Grab a bit of that. Plenty of scoopage. And you can hear that gritty noise. And you hear the, don't know if you'll be able to catch it, but the little popping of the bubbles and the air coming out the end. That means you're pretty much all the way home, which is good. This has got a short ferrule on it, purely because I didn't change the ferrule, because I'm going to skip a step on using the ferrule belt. I'm going to be honest with you again, much like I didn't know what this glue was, I don't like that ferrule belt. So if I'm being honest, that's why I've gone for the ferrule that fits perfectly, so I haven't got to deal with that step. Okay, so a couple of spins. You want to decide before going in, when you look at this, do you want PGW down the top, or do you want it on the side like that? Now for me, I'm going on the side like that. That looks pretty good. So straight away now you're getting a feel for how it looks. Nice and short so I can get into it. Looks a little shut in the face angle. You know, I use these lines on the floor, but it's pretty good. And then give it a tap home. Here you go, that's what this is for, rather than me mark the floor. If you did that in your nan's kitchen, she'd go mental, so make sure you have a little stamping thing. Let's see if we can figure out this. So job done. So this raises the mechanism higher and lower. I've got my 2 minutes 30 set up. I think, no. There you go, you press that and then you hit 2 minutes 30. So that then at 350 degrees, it'll either pop on its own or I've got to open it. But we basically have now 2 minutes 18. So you can either talk amongst yourselves or we'll try and tell a joke that's as good as Paul the Joker. If you don't know him, I'll stick his Instagram handle down below. He's from Liverpool. We're not even going to attempt it. See you in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Oh yeah, make sure you subscribe. If not, I'm going to stick you at the front row of Paul the Joker's comedy sketch. And trust me, when you watch him, that's not where you want to be, because he's really good at taking the piss out of people. Hopefully you've all found Paul the Joker now on Instagram. There's hours of fun there, but you've come back to the channel. So you can see now that's heated up, it'll be dry. The thing I want to do is just get the little bit of adhesive that's come out in the heat. Job done. So all you're doing is just making sure each step is clean versus the previous step, especially with a golf shaft like this, because it's white, so everything shows up. Now this has got some heat to it, so I don't want to touch it. But remember I said I want to bend the lie angle, so you better to do this while it's warm. So we'll just swap spots here, buddy. Back into here just to check. Now it said it was at 59, but you do want to check that. Remember, I'm playing it a little bit shorter than the 7 wood. So I don't want, it's actually, yeah, 60 is what it is. I'm actually going to move this to 58.5. Reason being is because the shaft is shorter, I want to just make sure that I don't want it too flat, do I? If you think about your iron lies, those of you that know it, your iron lies change based on the length. So I'm going to take it flat a little bit, but not as far as it was. So simply in there, in the bending block, bend this one, make sure it's all good. It's hot, so I don't need too much heat on it, too much force. Good, so you hear the creaking. As another touch point, I always have this near me so I can feel it move. Have I ever bent one? Yeah, back in like 2004. Broken one. He was a South African player. He might have been Dutch. He was devastated. He was his gamer. He was devastated. So, what are you doing? I was like, well, it happens. Okay, in there, and of course I'm an absolute pro at this, so I've nailed it on 58.5. You can see that, centered face against the score line. That's why I do it the way I do it. That's why I like to have the feel of stuff. It's just my method. That, by the way, to get it right, I made look extremely easy. Finding the draw, the molds, is a lot tougher, as I just showed you. But honestly, that takes a bit of time to be able to get that right. So I'm pretty stoked that I got that first on. Obviously, difference in the lever size, if it's hot, a couple of different cheat methods to make sure you get it right. So now, next step is, I want to grip this thing. We went through a cracking video where I showed you about how to grip golf clubs. This is the same process, so I won't go super deep on it. I'll grab my Tour Velvet 58 rib. Remember, I like the rib in there. Rib is just a reminder for where your hands go. When it comes to the length at which I pulled that, I put the tape, I get the length. We use one solid piece of tape. Some people wrap it round, it's a bit old school. By going the length on there, I know I'm gonna come way past where it needs to go. Job done. Get that flat piece on top, wrap it round, give it the one of those. Now that is the sign of someone who knows what they're doing when it comes to grips. Some people like to cut that little nibble off at the end. I just took it down the shaft. But that is crucial. You see that? Perfectly flat against there. If you get any ribs in there, then a tour player would complain. I'm looking for the cheater that I just kicked on the floor. This is the cheater. You do need it really to help you just start the grip off. The other thing here before we go in that, I'm gonna have this a bit closer to me. Job done. And I'm lining up leading edge, which QI35 give you that nice silver leading top edge. I'm lining up leading edge to make sure it's perfectly pointing to 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock on a clock face, so that when I put this grip on, it goes on perfectly straight. Reason I moved the golf shaft is because I don't want the cheater to get caught against the end. I tend to use the cheater when I'm in this workshop. Don't know why, I don't use it all the time, but it makes it a bit easier when I'm in here. This one's a little broken. Job done. All the way to the end. So now I've got plenty of room for my cheater, look. Bend that out, job done. Just easier, see how easy that was? Get your golf pride straight. Golf pride is what I seem to be in. I've been in golf prides for years, just a habit. I like them. Once you get a golf grip that you like, you tend to stick with it. Interested in trying others. Tried Lampkins for a bit last year. Been looking a little bit at some of those leather grips. I like them, they're very tacky. A lot of the Aussie boys use them. So I don't know, we'll see. Always open to looking and trying new things, but I tend to stick with this one. So I think that grip feels a good length. Gonna grab this, just as a comparison, see if I didn't stretch it. It's like, no, it's good. It's not even longer, it's good. Bang, bang, bang. Decal down the back, get the etch down the back, level with the etch down the front. Good, good, good. Okay, that's now looking sweet. What I'm doing as a player is just seeing how much give there is in the tip section. Feels good. This needs to go in the trash, and then we need to do swing weight. Swing weight's crucial. Me and Q are gonna do this little pirouette around the middle of the workshop. See that, Q? We got this dialed, we know what we're doing. All right, swing weight, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I've made a whole video on this before. It is important. This shows you my grip fetish. I've grabbed two that I've had my eye on, by the way. A Lampkin and an Iomic. We got no one that we're in love with on that, but we're taking both. It's putter grips. Anyway, back on. So it's at C 9.8, 9.7. Again, those of you that follow the channel know that I absolutely hate electronic swing weights. I prefer analog, to be honest, because if you've got a tour player over your shoulder, you can end up in a spot of bother because they're like, oh, it's 0.1 of a swing weight off. It's like, get out of town, mate. 0.1 of a swing weight, really? I mean, the only person I wouldn't say that to is Tiger, because Tiger's Tiger. If it's 0.1 off and it ain't right for Tiger, it ain't right, baby. So everything's coming out at like D4. So you get a letter and a number. And what it is it's going to give you the balance point of the club. So D3.5 is my letter and then my number, and that's the weight in the head. So to start us off, we have this weight back here that I can remove. Is the hot melt on? It is not. Ollie taking a picture of us behind the door there. What's up, Ollie? Bang, get that out. Okay, so this is a 9 gram, so we probably will need some hot melt. Hot melt, again, I'll show you, is a liquid that goes into the head to help with weight. So I've got, sorry, it's a 6 gram. Always, that's why you use the electronic scales. And we've got 2, 4, 6. So I need 12. I need about 12 grams. Each swing weight is 2 grams. Let's try this 13 for speed in the video. I'll probably go back and hot melt it. And the reason being is it'll change the sound. I won't make you wait immediately now, but we'll certainly let that heat up and add some, and you can stay till the very end, see how that works. So with a 13, there you go, perfect swing weight. So now what I do is I tighten that, lock it up, but we'll cut as we wait for the hot melt to get warmer. And I will put probably 3 or 4 grams of hot melt in there. And the reason being is it'll give it a nicer sound and it'll give it a nicer feel, give it a thuddy feel. That's what I like. This is my 9 wood. You complained that I wasn't hitting my 9 wood. This is mine, it's not yours. I like thuddy. We're putting hot melt. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so your hot melt is going to be added just to change the sound. You can use it to change CG, center of gravity location. Don't need to do that. I've pulled the weight out the sole. Notice how I get the head pointing to the sky because I don't want this to go against the face. I've done like half a squeeze of the trigger there. I can feel the heat of the hot melt coming down into my finger, into like the fleshy part of my thumb. So it's right at the back, which is good for CG and for spin. I reckon I've probably put about 3 grams in there. So let's take this 9. So that's a 9 gram now with what I think was 3. We check it on here. Damn it, I missed it by 2 grams. Okay, so squeeze that out. So basically, mate, I'm just taking the weight up a hair in this because I can't quite hit the swing weight I want. So same process again, little squeeze. That's about 1 gram. About, because I'm feeling it out. I need my 8 grammer there, pop that in, find my screw. So once you've got your swing weight and you've got your weight, you've put in your hot melt. This is why I hate electronic scales. I'm freaking 0.5 off, which will annoy me. So I'm gonna have to get it bang on. Now you've got options to either, this is sticking in here because of the hot melt, because the hot melt has a slightly sticky adhesive section to it. 9 grams in. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing when you get the swing weight right. Put them in there, put that in there.
What's it at now?
So now it's at that D3.5, which is what I want, but I've put a bit of hot melt in there, and the hot melt will give me just a nice thuddy sound, which you're gonna hear when we head out to the range. Make sure you tighten this up. Job done. And there you have it. Beautiful. Let's go. First things first, get your full swing launch monitor out. Put that the distance behind the golf ball required to hit the golf shots. I've hit a couple of looseners, but what I want to be able to do is capture the data so that I have something as a tangible. It's important when you first hit a golf club that you have that type of information. As you've seen from my fittings before, I like to put down alignment tools. I use the Tour Aim to ensure that I've got parallel left and right on my target. Again, with fitting, I have a process that I use here. I've hit wedges, 8 irons. Hopefully you can tell that from the divots. Now I've got 7 wood. I would never dive straight into in a fitting with the brand new club because you want to just get a few looseners out the way and try and build the player confidence first. So 7 wood, just straight over that target. And check that the turf interaction's good, the ball flight's good. Now you're going to have something to compare it against. This isn't a comparison video as such. We'll bring that to you. But that is a key piece that I want to make sure that you get. So you can lay down a yardage, or at least for these purposes, we can have a feel as to what swinging that golf club looks like and visually seeing that target. So there's a couple of non-negotiables for me. If you don't have a launch monitor, you're gonna have to look at where it lands and you're gonna have to picture the window. Now in this one, this scene here at the Kingdom, it's easy because I've got obviously the silhouette of the trees And today, believe it or not, in Southern California, we've actually got a few clouds, which doesn't happen here very often, but it's good because I can measure the height against what's going on if I don't have a full swing kit. If I have a full swing kit, even better. So 9 wood, got that same swing weight. Love how I can get nice and close to the golf ball. So straight away, those of you that watched the previous 9 wood video, how much better is that apex? Honestly, I don't really want to play a 9 wood, but that one was a good start. The grip is potentially still a little bit wet, and that was a really good start. And Q said to me, you're gonna end up playing this 9 wood, and I said, I'm not gonna end up playing this 9 wood. And that's why, if truth be told, because I can't lie to you, I didn't make the 9 wood in my spec originally, but now having just hit one in the spec I would use, yeah, maybe we're going to use a 9 wood. I'm just going to end up with a bag of head covers. Good for TrottieGolf.com. Okay, number 2, out the gate. Give me that reaction. So I've hit one that's been, and I'm just looking at flight now. How good's that? I've hit one that's been the pulley one, and then one that's been the cutty one. I can go down 96 apex. I like 99 club speed, and it's given me about 300 revolutions more spin. It fits well, fits real well. I mean, after this, how do you test the 9 wood? Well, it's things we've already spoken about, haven't we? Isn't it? I mean, look at that. That's in the wedge divot. Again, I'm nice and close to it. Ball back in the stance. The previous video, which I'll put down in the description, did you see that it would turn over a little bit? Notice how I've lost that now because it's my spec. That shows you the importance of having the right build spec. I am probably going to stay here and test a bit more. Maybe get in that trap, see some of them, the rough. What do you want to see it, Q Mondo? Yeah, let's do it then. Let's go 1 in the rough, 2 in the rough maybe. So again, you've seen me do this before, how we can chop it out. I mean, that's not lying great. Weight forward with the hill. And it still gets the height off the down bank. Who's this for? We covered it in the other video, but I think what I'm starting to learn, if you can get the spec as you want it, and I might flatten that lie angle a bit. That's the only place I'm going to with this. But if you can get the spec as you want it, I think it's for a lot of golfers. The big thing I'm noticing, and I've got it here on the full swing, 87 on the apex. I'm no longer hitting that big spinny one that I was getting out of the max head that I was hitting with the, I think it was a regular or seniors flex shaft. So you've got to get the build right. I mean, this speaks volumes for fitting. But I think it's for anyone that plays long golf courses, players that want height. I'll be honest, I don't like rescues. I struggle with them. This is much easier than a rescue. If you can deal with seeing the loft, which for some reason I feel I can, and I mean, Tommy Fleetwood's words, how good's a 9 wood? I think Tommy's right. If Tommy Fleetwood's in it, one of the best players in the world, and I know I could get an absolute Harry Hamburger into this as well, because it would just be easy, then think about the players that covers. There's a reason TaylorMade have brought this out. If you want to get one, check them out. I like it. I don't think anyone is ruled off, but this really shows the fitting part is integral. There is another video we're making to follow this up, to put 9 wood versus 7 wood, 9 wood versus rescue. Where do you go? 7 wood versus 5 wood, 5 wood versus 9 wood. How the hell do you make a decision? You're gonna have to subscribe if you want to see all that. But that would be my initial testing of my 24 degree QI35 9 wood with the PGW tipped up. You saw the build. Any questions, fire them below. It's a great golf club. I don't really need to do much more than draw, fade, low, bad lie, because I know what this thing is going to do. It's going to be an absolute cheat stick that I was planning to hand off to someone else, but now, unfortunately, I then want to keep it in my squad of golf clubs. I've talked about a squad of golf clubs before. It's imperative this could well be in your squad. If you like it, get down below and let me know in the comments. Hopefully we'll see you back here soon. Be sure to hit subscribe if this video is the sort of thing that you're jamming.